In this video, I'm going to show you how you can breed Pokemon so that you can make a competitive team with Pokemon that have best IVs in every slot. Before we get started, let's talk about some items and charms that you're going to need. So the first one you're going to need is at Route 213 here at Valor Lakefront. At this place over here, the guy in the pool, once you beat him in a battle in the end game, he will give you an oval charm which will make eggs appear at the nursery a lot more frequently. Once you finish your Pokédex, you can go into the house right behind over here, and this guy over here will give you a shiny charm. Now this only really works for when you're breeding Pokemon, so if you want to increase your shiny chances, this is the way to do it. Now, as for the items, one item you're going to need is an Everstone, which you can find by digging in the underground, and you can also find some during the playthrough just searching places. And the final item that you're going to need is the Destiny Knot, and you can see it's located at this area right over here. You'll be able to find the Destiny Knot on Route 224 there in the middle right of the map there, just at the end of the path there. Just follow that and you should find it. It's quite easy. Now, there are two types of Pokemon that you might need for the breeding that will make your life a whole lot easier, and the first one is a Ditto. You're going to need a Ditto that at least has some best IVs. You can find a Ditto here to the right of Canalave City on Route 218. I also have a video on how to tame these Dittos, so I won't go into too much detail on that. You can find that in the description or on the screen right now. Now, the best way to hatch eggs in the game is by having a Pokemon that has the ability Flame Body at the top of your party with all of the eggs, so make sure you catch this Pokemon for when you're going to be doing the hatching. Now, the best place to find these slug Pokemon is in the fight area. When you teleport to the fight area, you can then enter the Grand Underground. You should spawn roughly near this place over here. We're going to this desert, half lava, half desert kind of place because we'll find those slugmas over here. So just walk in here and keep resetting the room until you find these slugma, these snail, these like fire magma snails, because they have a very high chance of having the flame bot ability. You might have to just capture a few of them. Once you've caught it, you can go to your Pokemon box and go look at its ability when you click the View Stats button to see on the right side whether it's the right one. And now to begin the breeding process, we're going to head over to Solaceon Town here, where the Pokemon Nursery is located, right over here. Alright, so before we begin breeding, we do have to do a little bit more setup. We're going to go into the Pokemon, and in our party, we're going to place the Slugma here that has Flame Body, so that when we collect the eggs, they will all land in these 5 spots. Alright, so to begin, we either have a Ditto that you have with best IVs, maybe like at least 2 or 3, any Pokemon that has some best IVs, and the Pokemon that you want to breed with. Ditto can be male or female, so it doesn't matter what the other Pokemon, like this Riolu that is a female, I don't need a male or a female Ditto to breed with this one. Ditto will make things happen. If you're struggling to find a Ditto, you can actually just take your Pokemon and get 2 of them, just one in male and one in female, like the Shinx over here. The Shinx has very bad IVs, there's no best ones over there, but the female one here has 3 best IVs. This is also doable to breed. You can also breed a Shinx in its egg group, which would breed with other types of Pokemon within the same group. You can just Google Pokemon egg groups to kind of like clarify where your Pokemon fits in and which other Pokemon your Pokemon can breed with, if it is hard to get another Pokemon of that kind. Alright, so in this case, this one here has the 3 best IVs, and the Ditto over here has the one with the 6 best IVs. What we're going to do is the check held item, and we're going to go give it a Destiny Knot. So what the Destiny Knot does is that it guarantees that the baby will inherit 5 of the IVs from either one of the parents. So 5 in total, so you're hoping that the baby pulls those 5 IVs from the Ditto, because then it will have 5 best IVs, and then the 6th IV is kind of rolled in luck, and you just have to hope that one is best, and there's not really much that you can do about that. So we use the Destiny Knot on the Pokemon that has the guaranteed best IVs so that we can get that onto a baby, and eventually when we get a baby Riolu, we can hopefully have it with some best stats here so that we can breed it again with the Ditto so that there's a higher chance of them getting best stats from both parents, until eventually you get a Riolu that has 6 best IVs in every single slot. Another thing that you're going to want to work on is changing your Pokemon's nature. You can see this Riolu here is a quirky nature there, just above its ability, under its IVs. Quirky is not the nature that we want to give it. So the way a nature works is natures will actually buff one of the abilities or one of the IVs, and it will decrease another one. So for example, for Riolu, we want the Jolly nature, which will increase our speed IV, but will also decrease our special attack. But that's okay, because we're going to be doing attack-based moves. We're going to be doing physical attack, not special attacks. So having the Jolly nature is what we need. So at first, we're going to breed Ditto with the Destiny Knot with our Riolu until we can get a Riolu that has a Jolly nature. That is the first goal. Now, I just forgot that Riolu cannot actually breed with Ditto at this stage. It has to become a Lucario, so that makes it a little bit annoying to work with because I was actually going to try that, but Instead, we're going to use the Shinx, right? So we're going to take this Shinx over here, the one that has no best IVs, and we're going to move it and replace it over here, and we're going to breed the Ditto with the Shinx instead of the Riolu because the Riolu is not going to work. So when you're ready, all you have to do is go to the nursery on this side over here where this old man is standing, and you're going to go into the nursery building. Inside the nursery building, you're going to speak to the old lady, and you're going to place 2 of your Pokemon in her care, and this is obviously going to be your Ditto, as well as the Shinx that we want to breed. So it's the Ditto with the 6 IVs and the Shinx with no IVs. Or if in another case, it would be a Shinx with 3 IVs as a male, and a Shinx as a female with 0 IVs or another amount of IVs. So just pay the fee, and then she'll take care of them, and you can come back later. So now there is a little gimmick here. This old man, you need to speak to him and make sure he's facing anywhere but the side of the road. So he's saying the 2 Pokemon seem to get along. When he says the 2 seem to be getting along, that means they are going to be breeding. If it says they prefer to play with other Pokemon, that means it's not going to work and you're just wasting your time, like how the Ditto and the Riolu kind of didn't work. So what we're going to do here is we're going to open up our bike and we're going to make sure it is in the fast mode, and you can tell that this is the slow mode. Fast mode has the lightning and moves a whole lot quicker, and you're going to move in circles. Circles are much faster than going up and down because it measures your distance by the tiles. You can see the old man is now facing the road instead of facing the left. When he's facing the road like this, it means he has a new egg for us. You want to approach him from an angle like this so that it turns him and he will give you the egg. You just say yes, you want it, and he will put it directly into your party. So if you go and you look in your party over here, you now have an egg over there. And with the flame body on the Slugma, it reduces the amount of movements that you need to do to hatch the egg so that it takes less time to hatch the egg. And trust me, some Pokemon take a ridiculous amount of time. So if you actually do want to time this, you can bring out your Poké and you want to change it to this screen over here that has the number. You're going to press C. This is going to set it to 000. This counts your movements, and now you're going to basically just move. Generally, some of the Pokemon take up to like 5,000 or 2,500 movements to make, and this counts the amount of squares or blocks that you pass on the ground. So it's much slower to do up and down than it is to actually just go in a circle, because in a circle you cross a lot more blocks or tiles. You can see the old man is then facing the road again, and we can collect our second egg. We're basically going to do this until we get a full party of eggs. Now, he will keep giving you eggs over and over and over if you pick them up, and they will eventually go fill up your boxes. Now, it's good to know that you cannot actually remove an egg from your game at all unless you hatch the Pokemon, so don't collect too many of them if you don't need to. Right now, I'm just going to keep this party full, and I'm going to just spin in circles. If you want to be more efficient, though, you can actually take another 5 eggs and then trade them out as your Pokemon hatch. But right now, we're going to be swapping out a Shinx very soon, as soon as we get one with the right nature or has better IVs. And you'll see when this screen pops up, it says, oh, this will mean one of the eggs is beginning to hatch. So it'll play a kind of long cutscene that you can't skip, and you just have to watch your Pokemon hatch and just maybe hope that it's a shiny while you're at it. It is very possible to get a shiny Pokemon this way. If you're using a foreign Ditto and you have the shiny charm, your odds of getting a shiny is 1 out of like 500 and something. Now we're just going to keep spinning to hatch the other Shinxes. Alright, so now we've hatched all of our Shinx. All the eggs have been hatched here, and you can see all the level 1 Shinx over here. Unfortunately, none of them are shiny. So we can actually go hover over them and see the stats. So if you look at these baby Shinx right over here, you can see the first one has 3 best IVs, the second one only has 1 best IV, the third one has another 3 best IVs, and this one has 2 best IVs, and the last one has 2 best IVs as well. But the first thing we need to do is actually pick one that has a good nature that we actually need. So for example, let's say we wanted the hasty nature for some reason. Maybe this is probably not even viable for a Shinx, but just as an example, what we're actually going to do is select the Shinx, and we're going to change its health item, and we're going to be using an Everstone. An Everstone is actually going to prevent the Pokemon from evolving, but it's also going to make sure that when it breeds, the nature of the baby between the 2 parents will be the same as the whoever is holding the Everstone. So because this Shinx is holding the Everstone, the babies between the Ditto and this Shinx holding the Everstone will always have the hasty nature. So when you have the perfect nature for your Pokemon setup, you want to keep the one Pokemon with the Destiny Knot with the best IVs, and the other Pokemon with the right nature holding an Everstone, so that the babies have the right nature, and eventually you get one with all the best IVs that you need to make the Pokemon a competitive Pokemon. And then it's just a matter of trial and error and just swapping out the shinks with the other one so that you can keep making babies until eventually you have a high IV Ditto there with the high IV shinks so that the babies can come out with even better IVs, essentially. So it's all a trial and error kind of thing until you get the best babies through kind of just breeding. And that's how you breed Pokemon in Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and thank you so much for watching.